It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
Alright everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we have another video suggested by one of you guys. So shout out to Zushi in the Discord community for suggesting this Quiet Kills video. It says DVD effed up again. And and Delta as well, my bad. Almost forgot somebody. So shout out to Delta and shout out to Zushi for suggesting this video. And what I wanted specifically to talk about was this sort of end section, and I'm going to link the original video in the description so you can watch the full video from Quiet Kills. It's always entertaining. However, I want to talk about certain talking points and sort of kind of use this as a way to kind of springboard in a bit of my own points, if that makes sense. So right about here, we're going to go jump right in.
Or how many crutches you give these turbo shitters behavior, they will still cry, they will still quit, and they will still claim the game is too killer-sided, even with these monumental advantages on their side. Why? Because they don't understand the game on even the most basic fundamental levels. How come? Because instead of behavior investing the proper time, resources, and manpower to develop an actual well-functioning and in-depth tutorial for their game, they would rather lean on the charitability of creators like Oddstarva to essentially work as a free laborer for them and teach their player base how to play their game for them via YouTube tutorials.
Now, I will say I have been at fault for mentioning the fact that the sources are there. However, I still do agree, with my own point, I guess you could say in that sense. I still agree with the idea that these resources are there. The resources are available to you on different sources, whether it be TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. There's going to be somebody being able to teach you something. Now, the difference is that behavior knows that and takes advantage of that and then uses that to then put their resources and dump it into whatever other bullshit that they want to release, which is just essentially feeding the whole entire DBD community more slop. Now, the thing is, I still think that you should still use these resources, these passionate creators that are taking the time out of their freaking day to make these tutorials and to make these things, because I can say from personal experience that I have tried to make educational content for you guys, and I realize that ultimately that's not what people want to see, number one, but two, it's very time consuming when at the end of the day, like, the game is bad anyway. Why, there's no point in trying to learn anything, and I've covered that in a couple previous videos as to why learning anything in this game, especially if you're a killer player, pretty much means nothing. Because obviously with every change that comes is constantly making Survivor more brainless, which means you have to work even harder to do just basic things on killer. What is the point? I don't know.
And I find it funny how Behavior was willing to post an in-depth tutorial on how the new Ultra Survivor-sided temporary game mode functions on Twitter. Meanwhile, the tutorial for the 1v4 mode that's been out for over a decade now has been more neglected than a child whose father went out to get milk. And it's so comically archaic, unintuitive, and pathetic that even the pop star Doja Cat recently gave up on the game entirely before she could even finish the tutorial phase.
What's the point of doing all that if you just die anyway? I'm lost. I don't think I like this. Yeah, I don't think I care about this game.
And so here we...
Now, I want to use this as an example. And of course, Quiet Kills is also using it as an example. But you guys know that I've talked about this previously with Queso. Remember that? With Queso, talked about the game before, and we have the clip of that. We have the example from Flats as well, who talks about the game and how bad it is. We have another example that I forgot the name of that also talked about how bad the game is. And then now we have yet another example. So that's nearly 4 examples of big creators or big people or big names that are trying to try out this piece of shit slop fest and are literally telling you directly or indirectly, like, I don't want to play this garbage. Mind you, like, Doja Cat, I think last time I seen her do anything, I think game related, was like, I think Fortnite or something, because I don't keep up with Doja Cat at all. But I use that as an example to say, look, we have we have content creators that are working on, whether it be like Fortnite, or we have people working on, say, Marvel Rivals or Overwatch or whatever have you, or either just playing variety, that are actively showing us that they endorse and appreciate Rivals, Fortnite, other games way more than they appreciate this game. And I think that that is important because these people, I would say, are influential whether we like it or not. These people are influential to many, right? So if people a part of this slop community are actively like showing everybody else, that like outsiders, that they should not be a part of this community, that's why it doesn't grow. And that's why new people will be turned away immediately and leave the community, whether it be quietly or publicly, will both leave as quickly as they can. They are headed for the hills when they see how disgustingly toxic and ridiculously mindless these players are in this goddamn community. It is ridiculous to think that this is not worthy of discussion, that this is not worthy of paying attention to, when there's so many people that have this type of like humongous followings and influences that could potentially allow for people to either enter the game or not, because that their favorite creator or their favorite whoever is playing this game and endorsing the game. It's how it works. So it should be a sign that if multiple people across the board are like, yo, we don't like this piece of shit, that should be worth something. That should be something to pay attention to.
We are stuck with this sorry excuse for a 10th anniversary event mode less humane than the war crimes committed at Guantanamo Bay. But it's all fine and dandy because the survivor player count is still rising regardless, and that means more dollars.
How many killer mains do we have here?
Now, what I find interesting is that I have heard from a few different sources, in passing, of course, I can't like confirm or deny, whether it be comments or whatever have you, that have stated that the players have, I think they said 20k players have dropped from the Steam charts when it comes to this game. I don't know if that's actually true. I haven't actually been able to check, but I am curious if it actually is true, and if it is, I hope that it continues to drop even further, because we like, and what's funny is that I predicted this happening. I think maybe a few weeks ago, which is funny, I would have to say. But like I've said on stream before, I usually tend to be right about these things, especially with this game. I've been with this game for, I would say, maybe about a year or two or so, and I already kind of see everything for what it is.
Said almost nothing about how horrible this mode is beyond a brief statement or just a tweet or two. And I can't help but feel that this is by design, because there's a pretty thin sheet of ice many of these creators are walking on when it comes to how harshly they can criticize the game and the developers behind it. Ever since the newest iteration of DBD's creator program dropped, where Behaviour collected as many content creators as they possibly could and basically turned them into glorified community brand ambassadors who act more as an extension of Behaviour's brand rather than actual individuals with their own unique thoughts, personalities, and opinions, the explicit restrictions on levying harsh criticisms that haven't already been pre-approved by Behaviour themselves, combined with the heavy financial incentives to not levy such criticisms, such as virtual and real-world currencies through creator codes, free Auric cells, giveaway codes, and exclusive perks like gaining access to new content early, and even covering the costs of travel to events and so on, our loudest voices in the community seem to have gone quiet, and many creators now just run non-stop defense for Behaviour whenever they monumentally fuck up.
That is something that, as I was watching this video, I really wanted to hop on and really talk about specifically, because you guys see the little block on the back of the monitor here, right? And I can say with confidence that because we don't hit like the requirements to get a creator code, we don't hit the requirements to, you know, amass, like I guess you could say, the gigantic audience, that in itself I think is why I can still get away with saying a lot of things, because I really don't receive many benefits for being in the program itself. I mean, I have gotten a few codes here and there that could be distributed or not, having to do around like with the sort of like trickster thing and with the new survivor coming out, and I had gotten like I think something around with the Darkest Dungeon 2, which I probably was not going to play really anyway, but it is nice to have. Now, I probably will play the game now, but regardless, the fact of the matter is that I can say with confidence, like, I don't get the same benefits as the larger creators that are talking about or are participating in these things and in these events and in these things like that, because those big creators are the ones getting the free auric cells, that are getting the bonuses and getting the creator code and the cut from that and all that kind of stuff. And I really sat there and I said, that really doesn't make sense, because they don't really need that. Like, they already have enough of a following where they can use some of that, some of those earnings from just them doing their thing to get an extra skin or two if they really felt like it. So it seems like, to me, as I described it on a stream once, it was sort of like putting droplets of water in the ocean instead of trying to give people that are thirsty. In that sense, like, you could have gave it to the people that are smaller creators that are up and coming instead, because I think that those creators kind of benefit more from that because they're not as big as them. And therefore it would make sense that they should get the bonus too. But that's just my perspective on it. I just think that would make a lot more sense.
And I think it's just kind of a shady business practice and not very consumer friendly how, as these creators run constant defense and promote DBD for behavior, they never actually outwardly state that they are in fact essentially sponsored by them and have to follow strict guidelines and codes of conduct, preventing them from stating how they may truly feel about the product in favor of maintaining their various perks and benefits courtesy of behavior. All the viewers really get is a small creator program logo in the corner of their screens, but not everybody actually knows how strict this program can be at face value, nor do they know how other creators like Refined Kills have been outright removed from the program for rightfully criticizing them, because behavior picks and chooses who can and can't critique and to what degree they can do so.
That right there, I think, is important to mention, and that's why I wanted to hop on here and talk about it, because Refined was removed and we really didn't get an explanation, and I've covered that in a previous video like many moons ago. And a lot of people have also commented, like, you're part of the program and yet you're still able to criticize the game, as it is. And I have been for as long as I have been, pretty much, right? Like, even after joining the program, I still continue to criticize the game. But I also think it's just a mere fact that honestly, I just think it's because maybe I'm like flying under the radar potentially. Who knows? And I'm not really sure. I'm still a part of it. I don't know if I'm like flying under the radar, or maybe I'm not we're not big enough, I guess, to be able to be like noticed or whatever have you. I really do not know for sure. I can say that with confidence. I really just do not know for sure. I don't know. I really don't know, but I can say with confidence that other creators with a much larger following are most definitely on a leash. Like, there is just no other explanation for it, because why is it that some creators are feeling like they're unable to say anything? I mean, Oddstarva, I think, is a good example of a creator that probably is unable to really say anything, because he most likely doesn't really get given anything or paid anything. But I do think he may lose some opportunities to work with behavior in some way, shape, and form if he does decide to be more vocal about his disdain for the game or his dislike for certain actions and things. I can't confirm or deny that, but that's just like a theory, if you will, a game theory, if you will, because you really don't have much to go off of.
A few days ago, I received an
which we've covered. We've covered this in the past before, where he just was removed and we just really don't know why. And I don't know. Maybe I'm flying under the radar, or, I like, some of us theorize as well that because Refined was using like Vecna and like flipping off the, I guess the viewer in the thumbnails, like that's why he was removed, because it was a bit more, I guess you could say like directly offensive or something like that. Which I'm not really too sure about that, because like I've said, like the email that Refined received, like just he never like got an explanation. So that's all we can really do is theory craft. Even around that time, we just never knew what the hell happened. And funny enough is that I have a couple more fellow creators that have been denied from the creator program, and some people that were added to the creator program that probably didn't even qualify. So it's a possibility that there is some kind of like some kind of mismanagement when it comes down to people entering the program. And regardless, me being in the program or not, I really does not matter to me that much, in the sense like I'm still going to voice my thoughts and opinions and continue to expose the facts here about the game, trying to get people to open their eyes. You know, in the words of Doctor Strange, we always reference reality is but an illusion, and in this case it is. You know what I mean? In this case it is, and I want to make sure that that is something that we have a heavy focus on, because I want to have people kind of move past this slot fest and actually, you know, be able to enjoy gaming again, also be able to find out about games they probably haven't played before, never heard of, through my own video essay channel, which is linked in the description, or even watch some of the, if you're into Rivals, watch the Rivals channel, because I have a lot of fun on Rivals and I post videos about that as well. And that's just mainly what I want to focus on, and like try to make that shift over to something that I'm a bit more passionate about, instead of trying to continue to, you know, beat the dead horse here with how bad this game is, honestly. And that's the goal, and that's with, you know, what each sort of video is sort of heading towards. Like that's what we want to do, that's what we want to head towards, and each one of you guys are going to be able to contribute to that with just hitting the sub button, watching those videos when they come out, pretty much, right? And hopefully, and if you like those videos, you know what I'm saying, let it be known, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it to you guys in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, of course, of what you think of the topic at hand today, and also consider checking out those other channels. The video essay channel still, you know, under construction, you could say, because we're still trying to put together a lot of these videos for you guys, which I'm not sure why I'm saying we, because I'm the only one doing it. But regardless, consider becoming a member on YouTube or Patreon, or even subbing on Twitch for exclusive content perks. I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, let's go ahead and read off these wonderful members. We got Patreon, Crow Vader. All my YouTube members: Brando, Evil Blade, Cap Courteous, WTF You're Not J-Lo, Evil Peach, Hargan Falcon, Dole Whip, Noxus, Zero Mocker, Jack, Christian, and Crow Vader. Really appreciate you guys supporting, man. And if you also subbed on Twitch, just know that you got love coming your way too. Appreciate you guys, man.